Hey, what's up everybody? I'm Lance and welcome to my second channel. Today we are checking out a new video by the channel SLOAN. We've checked out SLOAN before in the past. We've enjoyed his videos. I like his style of videos. And he has a new one. ZAC EFRON is a yacht boy. Here he's being pimped out. I can't hooked on phonics. He's being pimped out to elite men. Oh, okay. Ooh. Scandaloso. Yeah, I'm very intrigued that when I saw this was about a week ago. This was, he dropped this video, so it's pretty fresh. So let's get right into it. I'll leave the link for SLOAN down below so you can check out his channel.
A yacht boy. ZAC EFRON earns a big payday while on a luxurious yacht with older men. His net worth has increased by $5 million from other ventures outside of acting.
Million.
Speaking of yachting, it is very, very rare that the Svengali lets the former Disney actor out of his sight during yachting season.
A Svengali is a person who controls others with powerful mental manipulation.
The actor from A Family Affair joined a group of friends on a yacht.
Why would somebody with multiple stints in rehab vacation in Ibiza?
ZAC EFRON was once a Disney star until he became one of the biggest yacht boys. For decades, he's been hired.
I keep on forgetting he's a Disney boy. I keep on forgetting that he was a Disney. I know him from, what was that? High School Musical, but that's the first time I really ever heard of him. I never watched Disney because I always heard like not really good things. Even back in the early 90s. People were talking about Nickelodeon and stuff like that before it got real big. But I was like, the child actors, I don't know. There's a lot of predators in that field.
And pressured by rich and powerful men to go on these lavish trips with these old creeps. At one point, ZAC tried to stop yachting, but his pimp was not happy about that because ZAC makes him a lot of money. So ZAC has been physically attacked by his pimp several times for disobeying his orders, which is why ZAC EFRON is so scared to leave the yachting world. So let's get into it.
Good Lord. Rough and tumble over here in the yacht.
So many of you guys have asked me to talk about ZAC EFRON and his yachting days. We've covered yacht girls before on this channel, like the Hadid sisters or other models who will go to Cannes, France and get on these yachts and do things with billionaires that they would not do if they weren't getting paid. One person said, can't ZAC get a gig on OnlyFans? Sadly, this is not surprising to me. Now,
this is an even better picture. Yeah, I see scruff. It always looks better. Yeah, I can see why they want to pay hundreds and thousands of dollars. I pay hundreds of thousands. He's beautiful. He's a beautiful man. It's a shame that he gets abused though, and he has to go through. But I
don't think ZAC is going to create an OF page anytime soon because yachting is a lot more elite than that, and you make a lot more money. Of course, everything in this video is going to be alleged. I want to go and cover my back because I don't know if ZAC EFRON is a yacht boy, but I have collected all the evidence on the internet and I'm going to present it to you guys today. One person said that ZAC EFRON has been groomed his entire life. He shouldn't be judged for the results of that abuse. When it comes to ZAC EFRON and yachting, there's not a lot of published evidence because the New York Times isn't going to go and cover this story. ZAC EFRON has had a tough life when it comes to being a child star, having his issues with drugs and fame. There's also that suspicious hospitalization he had following a swimming incident, the moment where he slipped and broke his jaw. Now that I think about it, there's been a lot of unexplained moments in ZAC's life, and I think that shows how troublesome his past has been. ZAC has had a documented history of substance abuse, including alcohol and drugs, which escalated in 2024, resulting in him going to rehab. Yachting is pretty much the practice when wealthy individuals engage in escorting-like relationships with famous personalities. Yachting culture involves a lot of different celebrities, so the lines kind of blur when people are just hanging out with fellow elites or if they're on the job. There is a video I found on YouTube where they're exploring a little bit more of these allegations involving ZAC. Let's go ahead and take a look.
In 2013, the same year ZAC was going to rehab repeatedly for cocaine and alcohol, and also supposedly broke his face by slipping in a puddle of water with socks on while running through his home. We'll get back to that, I promise. Well, that same year, Vanity Fair and Hollywood Reporter both published deep dives on how the Cannes Film Festival yachting scene was actually a major venue for sex work.
And they make a lot of money. I'm talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars. I mean, these rich men, they see ZAC EFRON, they like what they see, and of course, he's going to be employed by them.
Thanks to a bombshell interview with insider Alina Haas, which was backed up by other verified Cannes regulars, it really paints a startling picture around what is otherwise known as one of the most prestigious film festivals in the world.
I could see that gentleman paying. Did you see that? Hobbit? Like, ooh. Yeah, I could see him. He definitely would pay. Oh, yeah. That's the reason why. Ooh.
Just how does Nahas know so much about this seedy underworld? Well, he was actually part of it. On top of owning a Beirut modeling agency, Nahas was a former right-hand man for...
There are a lot of modeling agencies that are designed just for the Cannes Film Festival. Like, there will be models who are scouted, told that they'll be working in France, but not told they'll be working on a boat and having to forced spread their legs. Well, there are a lot of yachters who do choose to do this, and we're not shaming them. There are some who have no idea what they're getting into, and they're essentially human trafficked.
Mutassim Gaddafi, the son of Muammar Gaddafi, who ruled Libya until he was assassinated by NATO in 2011, along with his son Mutassim. Before his death, Mutassim Gaddafi was known as a playboy. Like, we're talking booking out several floors of the most expensive hotels in London and Paris for his friends to stay in, flying out Italian hairdressers for 5,000 euros, and even allegedly spending millions on New Year's parties in St. Bart's that featured private performances by Mariah Carey, Beyonce, and Usher. This was Alina Haas's boss, and Haas ended up getting sentenced to 8 years in prison for operating a prostitution ring, specifically during Cannes, after a bust in 2007.
You guys know we do blind item breakdown every Thursday on this channel, and of course there's been some blind items about ZAC. This blind item reads, just when you think this A-list actor was out of the clutches of the Singali who has controlled much of his life, then you realize that the sober coach was sent by the Singali. She has been used for several projects by him. Well, Singali is like a term for someone who controls someone else.
He doesn't pronunciate the V. He says Sengali. Svengali, darling. Svengali. I don't know why that bothers me. That bothers me. It's like Svengali. He's like Sengali.
And this is about ZAC EFRON, Mohammed Al-Turki, and Vanessa Valadores. Another blind item reads, speaking of yachting, it is very, very rare that the Singali lets the former Disney actor out of his sight during the yachting season. He always has work for him. It sounds like whoever this Singali guy is the person who's running this ring of yachting at Cannes. One person writes, it always amazes me how seemingly successful people fall under the spells of these turds.
That's Michelle Rodriguez. You see her? Michelle Rodriguez from the Fast and Furious franchise. I heard she's bisexual too, allegedly. And ZAC EFRON probably goes both ways too. He probably likes females more, but for the money, you know what I'm saying? For the money. That money looks pretty appetizing, especially if you have pay high taxes in California.
And adds, could it be that the Singali has info that the victim might be embarrassed to get out? Like possibly this person who's pressuring ZAC to go and yacht knows something about him that has been held against him, kind of like Diddy style.
A Svengali is a person who controls others with powerful mental manipulation. This vanity name is revealed in this particular blind item to be Saudi Arabian film producer Mohammed Al-Turki. ZAC was linked to Mohammed Al-Turki all the way back in 2012 in this blind item with photo evidence to...
Not making it sound any better. At least this guy's halfway attractive. Turkey man, Turkey Club, whatever his last name is. Like, at least he seems for. The other two look like, oh my god, they will have to pay millions for that ass for me. Oh my god, girl.
ZAC was spotted in the south of France with both Mohammed and Alexandra Storm, a model who they noted usually travels the world with Mohammed. But this wasn't the first time Alexandra was seemingly paired up with ZAC, with the item going on to say the same thing happened back in New York last year. And, quote, ZAC visits Mohammed and Alexandra spends time with ZAC. Thanks, Molly, unquote. Presumably a reference to the drug we know he struggled with. Interestingly, the item also praises Mohammed for staying away from Lindsay Lohan, even though she'd, quote, tried to get her claws into him, unquote. Because 1 year later, in April of 2013, there was a new blind item of him and Lindsay now spotted together.
Oh, wow. When you see Lindsay's old face, it's like a jump scare.
You see how it starts to weave a web of all these people who operate in the same circles? This 2013...
Crack is a hell of a drug, Sloan. Crack is a hell of a drug. Yeah, that's from hard drug use. That's from hard drug use right there. She shouldn't even be looking like that at this point. Like, ooh, no wonder she's trying to get... She tried to get her claws in him. She's like, you don't have to, like, do anything. I'll come to you, baby. She sees the dollar signs. But I see her new face, though. Like, I was like, ooh, she snatched everything. It looks... I mean, it looks good for being snatched. You know what I'm saying? She got good money from it.
Item says, quote, when one sugar daddy gets himself thrown in jail, Lindsay Lohan just finds another one to replace him. Last night, Lindsay showed off her new guy, Saudi producer Mohammed Al-Turki, as Lindsay looked entirely the worse for wear, and I'm sure that she is probably sporting some new bruises this morning, unquote.
I am gagged. What do you mean new bruises? This person writes, but this happened to Zach as an adult. He went yachting and hooked up with this dude and now is allegedly being blackmailed and abused by him. They also allege that all of Zach's injuries were caused by this man. Kind of like how Lindsay Lohan gets these bruises. It seems like this man beats them up whenever he doesn't get what he wants.
But there's more from another blind item from September of 2013, 5 months later. Quote, Lindsay was seen out yesterday with Mohammed Al-Turki, who last I heard had a plane full of women and ZAC EFRON at their feet like a panting lapdog. So how did Zach get involved with Mohammed? Well, remember how I said Mohammed is a film producer? Mohammed executive produced 9 films between 2010 and 2014.
Wow, so that's how they get you. Like, if you do me something, I'll give you a film role. And then you'll get fame and money, all of what you want. And what they want is to use these people and also to kind of leverage their fame. To say, hey, I can get you ZAC EFRON, but it's going to cost you more because he's in all of these movies. He's so desired.
And one of those was the fittingly named film ZAC EFRON starred in back in 2012 called At Any Price. Remember this photo at the At Any Price premiere back when Zach was trying to break out from the teen Disney branding? You might also remember that it was right around that time too that Zach started to have problems that kicked off a series of unfortunate events.
I know you guys have seen those memes of like ZAC EFRON before and after surgery, and I don't think he's like obsessed with surgery. Maybe he has to go and get this work to go and fix what's been broken. This person said, I still don't buy the jaw story. Tell whatever happened to him. My gut says whatever it is, it's not good. I mean, break it.
It could be because he got a jaw implant, like those implants that make your jaw look like you have a... God, that's noticeable. It looks a little bit better now, but when he first got it done, he did a video. And he should have waited to let whatever heal more or whatever. He looked better like a couple months later. He came back on and did some live or whatever. And he looked, you know, it looked normal. Like you know, the new normal, I guess, what was I say. But I was like, sweetie, you should have held off him. Dude, I don't know about him. I don't know. It just seems like it is very suspicious. Very suspicious. The whole jaw thing, I've been hearing about that for a while. But I think a lot of it's just a jaw, like he's doing implants without making it sound like vanity. That could be an angle. I don't know.
Your jaw. Oh, sounds painful. Comment below. Has anyone broken their jaw here?
No,
and how do you even do that? Someone said that a gossip Reddit did a deep dive on ZAC EFRON's jaw timeline. His story did not match up with dated photos. His jaw was never wired shut long enough for the injury he's claiming, if it was ever wired at all. Let's talk a little bit more about this incident. It wasn't even that long ago, 2022, whenever Zach shattered his jaw while running in his house with socks on. Now, I could totally...
Is it me, or his head seems more, it's disproportionate. It's like it seems bigger than, or is it just the suit? It's just the cut of the suit. It's like he has a big bobblehead. I don't know. It just looks weird. It just doesn't look right. I don't know. I could be...
Get what he's going through here. I mean, I run through the house, I wear my socks, and sometimes the floor is so clean, the socks are so cozy that you do a little slip, you know? But he claims that he passed out, and when he woke up after hitting the corner of the fountain, his chin bone was basically hanging off his face Oh my gosh, that sounds horrible. ZAC claims that this injury actually caused his masseter, so this muscle right here on your jaw, to double in size, which could explain why he maybe looks surgically enhanced.
See that now that chin has more extension forward than it did previously. There's also increased width.
I think that he has had some jaw work. It looks more like an implant, whether that was metal plates or a jaw implant for aesthetics.
So going back to 2013, around the time he was stinting in and out of rehab, he broke his face and had to endure long-term physical therapy. A strange accident that wouldn't come to light until almost 10 years later. According to ZAC, he was running in socks and supposedly slipped in a puddle of water, and that made him hit his chin on a marble fountain, causing it to shatter and hang off his face.
Ouch.
Yikes alert, ZAC suffered a major accident over the weekend. E-News reports that his mouth is currently wired shut, and all because of a little fall.
A little fall? I don't think so. But there have been other injuries that aren't really...
Those news outlets, like the one they just showed, they're so upbeat, even at the worst things, like, oh, it's a horrible thing. It's just this upbeat kind of like, my God, it's kind of almost inappropriate, but that's how it's like Entertainment Weekly or something.
Explained. And a lot of people allude to the idea that ZAC is being like abused behind the scenes, like as he's part of this yachting ring.
The story of what actually happened seems really suspicious.
Days after it was reported that the High School Musical alum was hospitalized in Ibiza following a swimming incident August 2nd, multiple outlets have reported that ZAC ingested water when his chest hit the bottom of the pool after his dive. And that's
so this was a really interesting moment. It was in Ibiza. And it looks like ZAC was maybe partying. I don't know what happened. He fell into a pool. And I remember at one point reading like rumors that he had died. This incident was really intense.
I didn't hear about that one.
Pulled him out of the water after he showed signs of distress. 36-year-old was taken to the hospital out of an abundance of caution after appearing temporarily dazed.
So he was vacationing in Ibiza and staying at a Spanish villa. According to some sources, a full month into an island vacation when he allegedly dove too deep into a pool and hit his chest on the bottom, causing him to inhale a bunch of water. Reports say ZAC came up from the water dazed, and even though friends were present, it was 2 on-site security guards that pulled him out of the water. He was then rushed to the hospital, even though he was conscious, out of an abundance of caution, and held overnight. His PR team insisted the only reason he stayed until the morning was because the hospital was surrounded by photographers trying to capture the story.
Also, like, where is he diving into the pool? Like, it must be very shallow. Like, not even 3 feet. I'm thinking, like, it has to be a step, right? Unless he's jumping off a roof.
That's fair, but what adds to the strange...
What is strange to me is if you have people there, you expect them to help you. You don't expect, hey, can you... And it takes a moment for the security to get to his ass. So you got some trifling friends. They don't give 2 shits about you. That's what's up. So either no one was there and the security found them. That makes more sense. Like he was by himself. And then security is like, oh shit, this guy's like, you know. Other than I had friends around me and then I had security come in. Like that makes no sense. What were they doing? Just watching and be like, this is a funny prank, you know. Old ZAC, you know. Classic ZAC, you know, it makes no sense. But if he was by himself, it just sounds a little fishy.
Strangeness is that in some versions of the story, he's swimming with those friends who I guess didn't help him out of the pool, and in other versions, he was discovered by the staff, implying that he was swimming alone. In either case, ZAC posted to his Instagram story not long after his hospitalization with this mostly thirst trap image, thanking people for their concern and essentially proving that he was...
I remember this picture. Yeah, I love how she's pointed at thirst trap picture. This is a thirst trap picture. Boy, you know what you're doing.
Is fit and healthy, saying, happy and healthy, thanks for the well wishes.
Shout out to that YouTuber. She's done such a great job of timeline. And essentially, after this incident in Ibiza, we noticed that there's a correlation with ZAC and this guy who seems to be his handler. Rodriguez. So how is Mohammed like magically there when ZAC is then injured again? It does seem like there's a pattern here. And if I was ZAC, I mean, I wouldn't want to be around any of these people. I'd probably hang out with my brother Dylan Efron all the time because Dylan seems nice.
The correlations between ZAC spending time with Mohammed and ZAC winding up in the hospital. Like how in 2019, ZAC was airlifted to a hospital in Brisbane, Australia after reportedly suffering a case of typhoid while shooting his reality show in Papua New Guinea, ironically called Killing ZAC EFRON. Which, it's a little odd because typhoid is one of the vaccines the CDC recommends before traveling somewhere like New Guinea where typhoid is common. And the timing coincides with this narrative from another blind item that came out in January 2020, only a month after ZAC was airlifted.
Let's talk about that blind item. It reads, I told you earlier this year that the Singali was back in the life of the former Disney star turned A-list, B-list adult actor. Then a few months later, the actor almost ends up dead, just like the last time they were together, which is why the actor got out in the first place. And it goes back to our guy, Mohammed Turki. Here's another extension of this blind item. This past summer, I wrote about the foreign-born producer who seemingly is in control of the lives of several top actors and actresses. We're talking about Mohammed Turki. Oh, don't make me crave a turkey sandwich. For years, he pushed the buttons of this former A-list tweener actor who is probably a B-list as an adult and someone you all know. He has also used this B-list, mostly movie actress who seemingly only stars in very long-running franchises. This summer when I wrote about him, he was offering up this A-list, mostly movie actress who has a very recent movie bomb for his guests to view and grope and goggle. Now he has another actress he has recruited. Apparently, he discovers some damaging information they don't want revealed, then uses it against them to do more things they don't want out. He has the A-list actress so under his thumb that about 6 weeks ago, she spent a weekend with a banker who then approved financing for a project for this Singali. The new actress he controls is a foreign-born A-list, mostly television actress who's been forced to do a lot of yachting to make ends meet. So Mohammed is not just putting ZAC EFRON to work, he's working multiple actresses and running this business, and I wonder how much money he's really making. Like 5 hours with ZAC, maybe that costs someone like $250K. And then like Mohammed keeps 100 of it. I could see that happening.
People think this is referring to Michelle Rodriguez, and we found photos that corroborate it. ZAC was seeming unwell while undergoing his 6-month transformation into Von Erich for Iron Claw in 2023, and how a lot of people speculated part of his facial changes were actually from excessive use of HGH. Well, lo and behold, in July of 2023, a blind item saying, quote, the former Disney actor turned A- list adult actor / HGH lover is doing the whole beck and call thing of his personal Svengali, unquote. But I know this all seems very wild and far-fetched. I mean, it makes sense that a young actor would be friends with a young wealthy producer, and it's probably all above board, right? I mean,
the part that really catches me is the fact that ZAC is getting his ass beat by this Mohammed guy.
How powerful could this producer be? Apparently powerful enough that he just officiated a backyard wedding that Elon Musk attended. Seriously, that soiree looks like half normal people and half wax museum replicas of the most famous people on the planet. And because it all comes back to the Svengali, remember how ZAC attended the Venice Film Festival only a few weeks after his hospitalization? Well, guess who was being presented with a prestigious award at Venice this year? That's right, Mohammed.
In my opinion, Mohammed seems dangerous. He's ingrained himself into this culture, the movie culture, the industry, and made a name for himself. I mean, to the point where he's not only just doing these things behind the scenes with the yachting, but also being honored. Now, what's interesting about Michelle Rodriguez is that it seems like she's really close to Mohammed, and at one point, they were pushing rumors that she and ZAC were dating in 2014. Now, a lot of people were confused about this pairing because both of them have issues with drugs and partying, so it doesn't seem like they will be a good influence on each other. But at the time, they were trying to push a narrative that they were actually helping each other by both being sober and having this past. Which in some cases, it makes sense. Like if you meet in rehab, you might be able to hold each other accountable. ZAC entered rehab and was struggling with both alcohol and cocaine. But it seems like him and Michelle were vacationing with Italian entrepreneur Gianluca Vacci. And it looks like this guy actually defended their relationship after seeing Perez Hilton talk crap about them on Wendy Williams' show. Gianluca said, "Don't be concerned. ZAC and Michelle have a mutual healthy influence on each other, and they're a very cute couple." Gianluca is a manufacturing entrepreneur and self-proclaimed public personality and has been enjoying horse rides and yacht trips with the stars. ZAC actually shared a picture of Gianluca on Instagram, writing, "To my friend, the real life, most interesting man in the world. Never above you, never below. Always by your side." ZAC and Michelle embarked on a getaway together at the end of the month, and it looks like they were traveling to Gianluca's home and then catching a private jet to another area in Sardinia. with him. So it sounds like maybe he's having both of them at the same time. Maybe Gianluca is one of the big spenders to Mohammed, because if you look online, you'll see so many pictures of ZAC partying with this man on his yacht. And really, at this point in ZAC's career, he's so successful. What does he have to do with hanging out with these old rich guys? And what could they want from him? Like, we see them together hanging out by the pool. We see them on the yacht. We see them riding horses together. Looking at Gianluca, I mean, at first glance,
if you're not getting movie roles, how are you getting work? How are you going to get money? If you're selective with your movie roles, it seems like he's a little bit selective with his movie roles. So you're going to have to supplement some cash somehow. So what do you think? He's young. He's good looking. What do you think he's going to do?
as a gay man, I would say he looks a little bit gay to me. So I could see him maybe going for either Michelle or ZAC Efron. But as we were looking through photos of ZAC on yachts, there are...
Who's this guy right here? Below them. Who's this guy? How much is he worth?
So many different photos on Instagram where you could see him hanging out with mysterious men on these boats.
Bitch. No, that ain't. Is that Gerard Butler? That's his face. Oh God, he don't have that 300 body anymore. Ooh, he got a little. He got a dad bod now. Wow. Jeez, the last time I saw him, I rewatched 300 not too long ago. That's Gerard. That gotta be Gerard. That's his face right there. I recognize that mug.
And I just don't know what young, hot ZAC Efron wants to be doing with these old guys hanging out and vacationing. I mean, I don't even really think ZAC Efron is gay, but I guess in this stance, it's like
Girl,
gay for pay kind of meets human trafficking.
Girl,
ZAC Efron earns a big payday while on a luxurious yacht with older men. His net worth has increased by $5 million from other ventures outside of acting.
The actor from A Family Affair joined a group of friends on a yacht off the coast of the neighboring island of Formentera. ZAC has been enjoying his time in Europe, even attending the 2024 Paris Olympics.
I mean, his net worth going up that quickly could be a sign. Taking us back to 2014 when ZAC was spotted on all these yachts, there was an article saying that ZAC was showing off his six-pack as he hangs out on this Ibiza yacht. There were claims that he's drinking again. ZAC had just gone out of rehab, so drinking again is not a good sign. A source said that his biggest problem is that he always believes that he has the ability to stop. He'll stop cold for 3 or 4 days when he has to work, and then he's back at it. A source claims that ZAC feels like he has it together because he had it together until his breakup with Vanessa Hudgens, and then he was on a downward spiral.
Has a history of stints in rehab.
Did he say Vanessa Hudgens? Not the same one I'm thinking of. Not that same chick. Vanessa Hudgens. He go on a downward spiral with... Wait a minute, hold on. No. It's inevitable. People are going to die. It's not that same one. No, it's not. Vanessa. How you spell her name? Hutchins. Vanessa Hitchin. Is this a? That's this chick. Vanessa Hudgens. What's your name? It's Hudgens, isn't it? What's your name? ZAC Efron. ZAC Efron. Right? This is the same chick. Okay. No, you're not. Get the fuck out of here. Go to hell. What the fuck? That's who you was downward spiral from? Is this cuckoo britches? Okay. Alright, okay. You know what, ZAC? Your stock value went down with me, my friend. God damn. Wow. That chick you went on a downward spiral for, that's the chick? Wow, okay, brother.
had issues with alcohol as well as cocaine and Molly, so pretty serious stuff.
The problem spiraled out of control back in April, but ZAC has since completed his time in rehab. One source connected to the film, The Neighbors, tells TMZ that it was common knowledge that he was struggling with cocaine, and he would also be a no-show for a number of days.
So it seems like ZAC really does not discriminate when it comes to all these drugs. He's down for them all.
On set.
Why would somebody with multiple stints in rehab vacation in Ibiza? Ibiza is basically the party and drug capital of the world. It's not a place sober addicts tend to go.
Now, fast forward a decade in 2024, we saw ZAC again back on the yachts.
It's relapse central. It's relapse central. There's Gerard Butler again. God, he really, right here. If I read the title, I'm looking at the picture. ZAC EFRON, Gerard Butler, and bikini-clad women. God, he really let himself go. Jesus Christ, Gerard. You know what? He's shooting a shot. He's like, look, you ladies knew how sexy I was in 300 with my 6-pack. I gained a little bit of weight, but I'm still that same guy. You can have sex with me, you know. Suck on this dick. You know what I'm saying? That, you know, he's Irish, you know. He can woo those women with that Irish accent. I'm sure he has some suaveness to him. But, you know, people like, you know, he's a dad bod. It's not bad.
ZAC EFRON, Gerard Butler, and a bunch of women who were partying on a yacht in France at St. Tropez. Oh, who's this guy over here? Is this the guy who's paying the bills? Kind of looks like it. ZAC was joined by his longtime friend, actor Gerard Butler. I guess that's Gerard. I'm sorry, Gerard. The amount of photos that we've seen of a ZAC on yachts, I think automatically makes him a yacht boy. Because at this rate, I don't know anyone else who's been on more yachts. In that same year, July 2024, we saw ZAC EFRON on the board of another yacht in St. Tropez. It actually looks like he was leaving with a bunch of designer items. This was at the same time that Vanessa was giving birth to her baby. So maybe ZAC needed some retail therapy, had one of his sugar daddies take him out. And by the smiles on ZAC's face, it looks like he got everything he wanted at the stores. He was a good boy. ZAC's friends loaded a big green Bottega Veneta bag onto the boat. It looks like he got a whole new wardrobe. And that's a big bag too. Like, ooh, ZAC, what did you have to do for that one? As far as recent, I saw that last year he was spotted on another yacht. There's some pictures of him there. And one person writes, these pics aren't helping the rumors that he's a yacht boy. Blue Period _ writes, I swam through a bunch of overused GIFs to get to this comment. What was that about? It was like a blip rumor that had just vanished. Also, yacht boy is basically rent-a-boy, but on a boat? This person replied, yes, escorts. Models and celebs do it when they need money. Or maybe movie people make them do it for getting other work. Who knows? Another person added that every time I see ZAC in a vacation setting, I can't help to think that he's yachting, and it makes me even more sad. Well, at least he would be getting paid for what he's doing, but at the same time, I don't think that ZAC wants to be in this. I think he's kind of trapped in this world, and they've got some blackmail on him. I mean, they've also like beaten him up so many times. Like, I feel like at this point he's had near-death experiences, so I would be scared of these people too. But so many of you guys have been requesting for me to talk about this video, and I decided to do it. So thank you for watching it. If you have any other video ideas for me, my email is sloanwellknown@gmail.com, and I'll see you in a new video soon. Bye, guys.
I don't know. But that turkey guy looks like he's abusive. He looks like he would like, he wouldn't mind, you know, backhanding a man or a woman. Especially as that kind of power, financial power, like financial powerhouse, they think they got it, you know. They're above everybody. Because they know they got the pocketbook. It's a sad reality. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you think about it. This was a really good video by Sloan. So, and yeah, take care of yourself, take care of each other, peace and grease.